Do you know that the way you sleep tonight could quietly raise your risk of a life changing stroke before the sun even rises? No chest pain, no warning signs, no chance to call for help. You drift off feeling fine, only to wake up confused, unable to speak, or unable to lift your arm. It sounds terrifying because it is, and as a brain doctor, I've seen it happen far too often. Not because of smoking, not because of diet, but because of the very sleeping positions and bedtime habits most seniors in America believe are harmless. After age 60, your blood vessels are stiffer, your circulation slower, and your brain more vulnerable during the quiet hours of the night. A single clot forming while you sleep can change everything in an instant: your speech, your memory, your independence, even your life. And the worst part, you don't feel it coming. That's why today I'm going to reveal the 5 most dangerous sleeping positions that secretly increase stroke risk. These aren't small inconveniences, they are silent threats happening in your own bedroom. By the end of this, you'll see how one simple change tonight could protect your brain tomorrow. So stay with me, because what you're about to learn may save your life. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Sleeping flat on your back with no pillow. When I tell my patients that the way they sleep could trigger a stroke, most of them look at me with disbelief. But I have seen it with my own eyes, too many times to ignore. Lying flat on your back, head level with your heart, no pillow for support, seems like the most peaceful and natural way to sleep. Yet for older adults, especially past 60, this position quietly works against the brain's circulation every single night. As we age, the vessels in our neck and brain lose flexibility. They no longer drain blood as smoothly. Gravity no longer helps. It resists. Instead of flowing out of the brain, blood lingers, slows, and sometimes thickens. And when blood stagnates, it sets the stage for the most dangerous chain reaction. It triggers strokes. It forms blood clots. I remember Mr. John Miller, a 74-year-old retired bus driver from Ohio, a man full of humor, still fixing things around the house. He always said sleeping flat on his back helped his lower back pain. His wife told me she would often find him with his arms folded across his chest, perfectly still through the night. One morning, she tried to wake him and noticed his words were slurred, his right arm limp at his side. At the hospital, scans revealed a clot in his left middle cerebral artery, a classic ischemic stroke. He had no major risk factors beyond age and mild hypertension, but his carotid arteries were stiff. Blood had pooled too long overnight. His sleeping position had quietly betrayed him. Today, John uses a walker and his speech is slower. But what struck me most was when he told me with tears in his eyes, "Doctor, no one ever told me lying flat could do this." This is not about comfort. This is not about whether you feel cozy when you close your eyes. This is about the plumbing system of your brain, about whether blood can move freely when your body is most vulnerable. Overnight, while you are unaware, stagnant blood can thicken, a tiny clot can form, and by sunrise, your life may be changed forever. Even something as simple as slight head elevation, 1 or 2 supportive pillows, a wedge to keep your head about 30 degrees higher than your heart, can keep the blood flowing smoothly, reduce intracranial pressure, and protect the oxygen balance your brain desperately needs. Choosing the right pillow is not just a matter of comfort, it is a matter of survival. And if you think lying flat is dangerous, Wait until you hear about the position many seniors find comforting, but which may be even more devastating: sleeping face down with your neck twisted and your arteries compressed. What happens in that posture will shock you. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number one below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number two. Two, sleeping on your stomach, neck twisted to the side. I must warn you, sleeping on your stomach may feel comforting, like a return to childhood, but in older age, it can become a silent trap. When you lie face down, your neck is forced to twist sharply to one side so you can breathe. This simple adjustment seems harmless, yet it quietly compresses the very arteries that keep your brain alive. The vertebral arteries, which run through the spine to the back of your head, and the carotid arteries, which carry blood up each side of your neck, become pinched. That compression does not announce itself with pain or warning. It works slowly, hour after hour, reducing the oxygen rich blood your brain depends on. As you sleep deeper, your oxygen naturally dips, your heart rate slows, and your vessels stiffen. The stage is set. Blood begins to stagnate. And when blood slows, it thickens. When it thickens, it forms clots. And those clots can trigger strokes in the quiet hours before sunrise. I once cared for Mrs. Eleanor Jenkins, a 79-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. She had always loved sleeping on her stomach, saying it made her feel safe, cocooned. Her daughter brought her to me after a terrifying morning when Eleanor awoke, slurring her speech and unable to move her left side. A scan revealed a cerebellar stroke, damage in the back of the brain, exactly where the vertebral arteries provide blood flow. Eleanor had no atrial fibrillation, no recent infection, no skipped medication, but she did have years of stomach sleeping behind her. Each night her neck twisted, each night her chest compressed, and each night circulation to her brain grew weaker until one morning the clot finally struck. She survived, but she lost her ability to walk without a cane, and her once sharp memory now comes and goes in fragments. She told me with tears in her eyes, "Doctor, I thought my sleep was comforting me. I never knew it was hurting me." Science supports what I've seen in my patients. Studies show that rotating the neck more than 40 degrees can reduce vertebral artery blood flow significantly. Add chest pressure against the mattress, and lung expansion is restricted, lowering oxygen saturation further. For a younger body, these dips may be tolerated, but for seniors, oxygen drops are not so forgiving. Your body may not wake you with gasping. You may not feel the suffocation. Instead, the brain quietly suffers, starved of the very fuel it needs, and the damage can be irreversible. A single clot breaking loose can take away your ability to speak, to walk, even to recognize your own family. It is important to understand this is not about comfort or preference. It is about survival. A soft pillow beneath your face is not just cradling your head. It may be pressing on arteries, kinking veins, and cutting off circulation in ways you cannot feel. And the cost of that comfort could be devastating. It triggers strokes. It forms blood clots. It steals independence without a single warning sign. So, if you have ever thought of stomach sleeping as harmless, I urge you to reconsider tonight. Your brain cannot afford that risk. But if lying face down is a danger you never imagined, wait until you discover the hidden thread of something even smaller, more innocent seeming, the way many of us pull a heavy blanket over our heads. What feels like warmth and safety could in fact be suffocating your brain while you sleep. 3. Sleeping with a heavy blanket pulled over your head. There is a habit so small, so seemingly innocent, that many older adults carry with them into their later years. Pulling the blanket over the head at night, it feels warm, secure, almost childlike. Some do it to block out a partner's snoring, others to shut away the cold air or the glare of a streetlight. But beneath that cocoon of fabric, something dangerous begins to happen. The air becomes stale. Oxygen quietly drops. Carbon dioxide builds up with each breath. For a younger body, the lungs and brain can correct these changes. But for someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, the correction is slower, weaker. Instead of waking refreshed, the brain is suffocating silently while you sleep. I remember Mr. Richard Hale, an 82-year-old retired postmaster who came under my care. He had been healthy, independent, and proud of his nightly routine. His wife told me he always slept like a bundled caterpillar, quilt pulled high over his head, saying it gave him peace. One winter morning, she found him groggy, barely able to open his eyes, his speech slurred. At the hospital, his oxygen levels were dangerously low, and scans revealed a small stroke deep within his brain. He had no atrial fibrillation, no smoking history, no skipped medication. The culprit was far simpler and far more shocking. Night after night of reduced oxygen and increased carbon dioxide under that blanket, blood growing thicker, slower, until finally it formed a clot. It triggered strokes. It formed blood clots that robbed him of clarity and strength without warning. When you sleep with your head covered, you are breathing in what your body has just exhaled. Oxygen levels fall, carbon dioxide rises, blood pressure swings erratically in response. In aging vessels that are already stiff and narrowed, this instability is dangerous. The brain craves steady circulation, but under the blanket, it receives less. The heart beats harder to compensate, further straining fragile arteries. All the while you feel safe, cozy, unaware of the slow suffocation. By morning, you may not wake the same person you were the night before, if you wake at all. Richard now sleeps with a light cotton blanket folded below his shoulders and uses a sleep mask to block out light. He often tells me, "I thought I was protecting myself from the cold. I didn't know I was starving my own brain." His story is a reminder that what feels comforting can be deceptive, and the smallest nightly habit can set the stage for catastrophe. If something as harmless as a blanket can become a silent threat, imagine what happens when the very chair you rely on for comfort, the recliner, where you rest your aching back, slowly turns into a trap for your circulation. That danger is even more insidious, and it is the next truth you must hear. 5. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Sleeping upright in a recliner. For many seniors across America, the recliner becomes more than just a chair. It becomes the bed. Aching backs, stiff hips, shortness of breath, acid reflux. All these discomforts drive older adults to choose the recliner as a place of rest. It feels safe, even comforting. The soft cushions cradle you. The television hums quietly in the background, and you drift off believing you found the perfect solution. But I must warn you, as a brain doctor, this habit is far from harmless. Night after night, sleeping upright in a recliner can quietly turn into a breeding ground for clots, a hidden trap that steals away health and independence without so much as a whisper of warning. Here is why. The human body was designed to rest flat, with blood and oxygen flowing evenly to every organ. When you sleep in a semi-upright position, 45 to 60 degrees, gravity does not work in your favor. Blood begins to pool in the lower body. Veins in the legs and hips become compressed. Circulation slows. And in an older body, blood naturally thickens overnight. That slow moving blood sits stagnant. And when blood sits stagnant, it forms clots. It triggers strokes. It forms blood clots that may travel upward in the early morning hours, just as blood pressure rises with the dawn. In a moment, a clot that formed quietly in your calf can lodge in a vessel in your brain, rewriting the course of your life before you even open your eyes. I think of Mrs. Barbara Keene, a 79-year-old retired florist who came to me after such a night. She began sleeping in her recliner after hip surgery made lying flat too painful. What was meant to be temporary became routine. Her ankles often swelled, her legs felt tight in the mornings, but she brushed it off as aging. Then one morning, her daughter found her confused, unable to move her left hand. At the hospital, scans revealed a small but devastating stroke deep in her brain. Barbara had no atrial fibrillation, no uncontrolled cholesterol. The cause was circulation slowed by years of sleeping upright, blood pooling until one clot broke free and struck without mercy. She now sleeps in a bed again, her head slightly raised on a supportive wedge, and often tells me, "I thought the recliner was saving me. I didn't know it was stealing from me." Her story is not unique. Every day, I see seniors trading safety for comfort, unaware of the quiet risks that gather in the stillness of the night. If a recliner can turn into a stroke trap, imagine what happens when you lie on your side with your own arm pinned beneath your pillow, pressing directly on the very arteries that keep your brain alive. That habit, more common than you think, may be the most dangerous of all. 5. Sleeping on the right side with your arm tucked under the pillow. There is a position many older adults in America find comforting, even natural. Lying on the right side, arm tucked beneath the pillow, head cradled just so. For decades, it feels harmless, perhaps even soothing, the same position you've used since your younger years. But as a neurologist, I must tell you with urgency that this position is far more dangerous than it appears, especially as the body ages. When you wedge your arm beneath your pillow, the weight of your head and shoulder compresses the very vessels that carry blood to and from your brain. The carotid artery and subclavian artery, both critical highways for circulation, are squeezed for hours. The veins, already slower in an older body, are pressed down as well. Blood begins to stagnate. And when blood stagnates, it thickens. It triggers strokes. It forms blood clots that can break free in the quietest hours of the night, traveling upward in a sudden rush as morning blood pressure rises, blocking oxygen to the brain in a single catastrophic instant. I recall Mr. Ellis Randall, a 75-year-old Vietnam veteran who came under my care. He was strong, proud, and deeply independent, still working in his garden and joking with his grandson about outpacing him in a foot race. Every night, Ellis slept on his right side, his arm tucked beneath his pillow, a habit he had carried since the military. One morning, his wife found him halfway out of bed, confused and unable to move his left leg. In the hospital, scans revealed a stroke in the right hemisphere of his brain. He did not have uncontrolled cholesterol. He was not diabetic. He had no smoking history. But ultrasound of his neck showed narrowing of his carotid artery, worsened by years of compression in that same nightly posture. His blood had pooled, thickened, and in the early morning hours, a clot broke loose. It changed his life in seconds. Ellis survived, but he walks today with a brace, his independence forever altered by a habit he believed was harmless. Older adults are especially vulnerable Because aging stiffens the arteries, reduces elasticity, and slows circulation. The nerves in the shoulder, the brachial plexus, are also compressed in this position, often leaving arms numb at night. That numbness is not just discomfort, it is a distress signal from the body that circulation is compromised. Yet many seniors ignore it, rolling back into the same position night after night. Over time, this silent restriction builds damage until the body reacts with something as devastating as a stroke. Ellis once told me, "I had no idea the way I slept could betray me." His words are a warning I share with every patient. What feels secure can be a silent danger. Switching to the left side, keeping arms forward or alongside the body, with the head gently elevated, can protect circulation and protect life. If your very arm, tucked beneath your pillow, can cut off the blood supply to your brain, then we must ask ourselves, how many other nightly habits have we overlooked, thinking they were safe while they were quietly putting our future at risk? The answer lies in the bigger picture, in bringing together every lesson we've uncovered tonight, because the final truth may be the most important of all. Final wake-up call. Sleep is not just rest, it's protection. As a brain doctor, I need you to understand that what we have uncovered is not about fear, it is about awareness. Sleeping flat without a pillow, face down with the neck twisted, under a heavy blanket, upright in a recliner, or with your arm pinned beneath your pillow, each one seems harmless. Each one feels familiar. Yet together, they paint a dangerous picture. Night after night, these habits quietly set the stage for blood to stagnate, for circulation to falter, for oxygen to dip, and for clots to form. It triggers strokes. It forms blood clots. And in the aging body, with arteries already stiffened and reflexes slowed, those clots rarely stay silent. They steal speech, memory, balance, independence, sometimes life itself. But here's the truth that should give you hope. Most strokes that happen during sleep are preventable. Let that sink in. They are not random. They are not inevitable. They are the result of choices, of positions, of routines we have never questioned. And that means you still have power. You still have control. No matter your age, no matter how many years you have spent sleeping a certain way, tonight you can choose differently. You can elevate your head, shift to your left side, keep your arms free, use breathable bedding, and never miss a dose of medication. Think of it this way. Every night is a chance to protect your brain. Every pillow, every blanket, every position you choose is either helping you or harming you. You may not feel the damage in the moment, but your brain does. Your vessels remember. And one morning, the body will remind you. My plea is simple. Do not wait for that morning. Protect yourself tonight, because sleep is not just rest. It is the most powerful form of protection you can give your brain, your independence, and your life. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.